They're back at it today, and if we had started this show 20 minutes ago, we would have talked about complete and utter capitulation.
Yep.
But the game has gotten underway. They went down 4-0 in the top of the first and then stormed back and scored 5 runs in the bottom of the first, so we still have a ball game today. So generally speaking here on the program, we don't counter-program. In other words, we do counter-program. We don't talk Red Sox when the game is going on, assuming most people who want to talk Red Sox are watching or listening to Red Sox. But listen, this is a special case because I think the team's teetering. So we'll open with some Red Sox thoughts. If you want to talk Red Sox, by all means. We'll release the hounds, Jimmy, if you could, please, at 617-779-0985. And we'll make some other things in as well. We'll see how far we go with it, again, up against the game. But I just think we're at that kind of point with the Red Sox, Mazz, that comment last night from Alex Cora felt like capitulation to me. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, of course.
And I think they're at a real inflection point here. I think he's at a real inflection point here. After that top of the first inning, it felt like even more dramatic. But they came back and scored 5 runs. But either way, where do you think we are today with the Red Sox, Mazz?
I think they're coming apart at the seams. I think that's what it is. And the only thing that saved them today from the things snowballing is the fact that they're playing the Angels. So Anaheim stinks. The Angels stink. Any team with a pulse and a 4-0 lead would have jammed it down your throat and the game would be over. So now look, again, I'm not telling you the Red Sox quit because they rallied in the bottom half of the first inning, but I can tell you this. Cora last night sounded exasperated. That's the word. Exasperated. Like, what do I do now? And he talked a little bit more about it before the game today and the importance for leadership in the clubhouse. The fact of the matter is they have a really stupid team. I mean, colossally stupid. And that play that Rafaela made last night where he threw the ball to the plate was an errant throw, allowed 2 guys to move up who both eventually scored. Cora was talking about that play being stupid, and Rafaela said after the game, if I executed the throw, I had him.
Did he?
Yes. So again,
No, he said it. Did he have him?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I doubt it. But I think the important part is that he's defending it.
Yeah.
So, which tells me he doesn't get it. So the time has come, and frankly, the time has passed. But the time has come where guys have to be held accountable for their mistakes. There's just no way around that. You can preach positive reinforcement all you want. But the fact of the matter is they keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Cora's right about that. The only way to get the message home with this group, because they're thick-headed, okay, they're thick. Guys have to sit. Now, again, I still don't think they're going to fire Cora in season. But does that mean they can't bench guys, trade guys, maybe fire a coach? I don't know, though. But Brezzo said he doesn't necessarily want to do that. So if the manager and the management don't want to start getting aggressive, then Cora's words are hollow. You got to start acting. You can't just sound exasperated without sitting some guys' asses down.
Murray, where do you think we are with this team?
He's Alex Cora's the triple D after last night. Deflated, defeated, and still defiant, because I still think he's just trying to say, like, well, the roster is what the roster is. They're not getting better. And granted, he did preface that by saying, like, you know, I am trying to still get through to them, but how hard? Because, again, you've been part of the excuse-making since the start of this season, bitching about the weather, among other things. And so he seems checked out to me. As I joked in the email chain, those that have listened long enough, you get the reference. If there's a drop ceiling in the Red Sox clubhouse, Alex Cora's putting onions in it right now. He is looking to get fired.
And the Red Sox have just given back the lead. It's now 5-5. The Angels lead off the second with a double and then a triple. Who's pitching for the Red Sox?
Lucas Giolito, thank you. I was just about to say this is one of the most gutless performances I've ever seen. Seriously, the manager is exasperated. Everyone hears it. They almost had a fight with the Angels on the field before the game started because apparently Brian Anderson, I think, or one of the Andersons came out of the Angels.
Tyler
Anderson came out of the Angels clubhouse and dugout before the game and started accusing Narvaez and the Red Sox first base coach about stealing signs the night before. Red Sox players were stretching in right field, came all the way in like they were yelling at each other. So the point being, all this stuff goes on before the start of the game. Giolito goes out there, gives up 4 runs before an out is scored, and now gets a 5-4 lead and comes out and gives up 2 more hits before getting an out. Gutless performance. This is the kind of guy, after a game like this, release his ass.
Even if you were guilty of the cheating and sign stealing, you now fight on that lie. So you got to be throwing in guys, throwing in guys' kitchens.
The ball is bouncing all over the stadium, and Angels are just running the bases. It's now 6-4. Keep going.
But if you were Giolito, to Mazz's point, he's
Sorry,
right.
6-5.
If you had some balls, you're throwing up in guys' chins. You're in their kitchen. Like you're going out there with some fight today. It's been anything but. It's complete capitulation, like you said.
Do they have any pride?
No.
Do they have any pride? To me, that's what this becomes about. Professionalism and pride.
They never had it. They never had a hold of the rope this whole year. They had a couple good games, I guess. I don't even know what they were. But they've never, Mazz, been that's the only way that's the only cliche I can come up with right now. They've never had a hold of the rope. Never once. Not the whole time. And it's just playing out in the exact same fashion. And the manager has absolutely, positively been a part of it. He's, in some respects, been leading the way. And now here we are. And I want to know what they're doing now with their young guys. It's like now you don't even have this thing where, well, you're working in the young guys. But the last two, is Mayer in the game today?
He is. He's playing today.
He did not get an at-bat the last two.
Correct.
How stupid is that?
Colossally, especially when you put Abraham Toro at third base and he's making errors.
Why is Marcelo Mayer here? If you're not going to play him, you send him back to Worcester.
Agreed.
Or wherever. It makes literally no sense to have him up here just sitting on the bench. He doesn't even get a pinch hit at bat. You're going to find one at bat for him?
Correct.
What the hell?
Yeah, so listen, and again, and think of the circumstance that led to him sitting. First of all, you have no true third baseman. So when you take him out, now you're putting Toro at third base. Secondly, you're platooning because you don't want Meyer to face lefties. Yet, you're doing the same thing at first base with Toro. Toro has only been playing basically against right-handed pitching, or that was the plan when Gonzalez came back.
Okay.
So they put Romy Gonzalez at first against left-handers for the beginning of the series. But they take Meyer out and move Toro to third, which makes no sense.
Well, why don't they want Mayer to face lefties?
Good question. That's a question in and of itself. But even if you were platooning,
Isn't he?
Yes, and he's hit lefties in AAA.
Every day short season. He's not someone that you sit out for anybody.
No, and he's a kid, so let him play. But then not only that, they're replacing him with a guy who's part of a platoon at first base and isn't typically playing against lefties. Does that make any sense?
And there was no spot for him in each of the previous two games for him to come hit against the right-handed
There
pitcher?
were definitely spots.
Wasn't Jensen in there the last two games?
Yep.
So what? Okay, and then I'm listening to the radio broadcast last night, and it was kind of a key sequence. I think you had just tied it on that Rafaela home run, which he pimps like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
Mr. Highlight.
yeah,
That's what he is. He's a highlight
the human
player.
highlight reel.
He's only interested in the highlight. I'm not kidding.
All right, so you tie it with the big home run. Then I didn't give a runner on first, maybe. You got someone on, and Campbell grounds out weakly into a double play and kind of kills the rally.
Yep.
On a 3-1 count.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just listening to it. So it's a 3-1 count. He doesn't get a pitch to hit. He just swings away at it and grounds weakly into a double play. And the radio broadcast said, whether that's here or at a lower level, he's got to get that out of his game. I said, at a lower level? I said, oh, no. They're already talking about sending Christian Campbell back, aren't they?
He was asked, Cora was asked before the game whether or not AAA was a possibility. And Cora said, look, every option is open.
They're already talking about sending him back.
Yes, yeah. And he said, right now we're going to keep him here, but every option is open. So, yes, he is a candidate for demotion. He has not played well for the last 5-6 weeks. And he made a big error in that game, too. They ended up not scoring on it. But I don't know if you saw the ground ball. The ball, where the grass meets the dirt on the infield, there's a little seam there.
Yeah.
And if the ball hits the end of that seam, it looks like you expect a high bounce, but it kind of kicks low. And that's what happened. But a veteran second baseman would know that might happen. He would know. Campbell didn't. The ball came down. He didn't handle it cleanly. They didn't turn the double play. Now, I don't think they allowed an unearned run in that inning, but he kind of lifted his head up and goes, what the F? Like, how did that hop happen? And you know what happened? because he's inexperienced at second base and he didn't anticipate it. It's possible on that play that the ball can do that. And again, a veteran player would know it. But this is what the Red Sox are now. They're player development at the big league level. They probably rushed the kid. I hate to go back to that because I know how much that irritated people back on opening day.
No, where's your buddy Berger, Stu? Is he all right?
He's on vacation right now, but he's listening to the show. I'm sure.
That's what. So he said that's why he's not tweeting anymore. It's a vacation. I thought their network was down, or he's just one of these bitches that just want to blow when.
Yeah,
Berger is not a bitch. He's a big fan of the show. He just hated the take
because it's anti-Red Sox.
because it's anti-you.
Mazz's take was anti-Red Sox.
Yeah.
But he's one of those kids. I got it. So, but that's all right. Listen, Berger, I hope you're enjoying your vacation. 'Cause I haven't heard from him.
Me neither.
He was sure. Wow. Was that game 2 that he threw that thing at you? Or it was MLB, right?
Yeah, MLB.com's Twitter page.
Where are you? Are their networks down? Is the server down?
No, now he's out.
Oh, the kid's just on vacation.
Yeah, because he's in and out Burger is what he is. Sometimes he's in, sometimes he's out. Right now he's out.
I'll tell you, the Red Sox are sure sticking it right in. That's for sure. Losing 7-5. Talk about that's a good point on Giolito.
That's a gutless effort.
Season teetering.
Gutless.
Pre-game words. This is it. 4 runs in the first. Then the team gifts it back to you. You're up 5-4 in the second. You give up 3 more immediately right out of the chute. Gutless. What a loser.
Big time.
They're losers.
They're completely coming apart at the seams.